Welcome everybody back to the Flying Doghouse. We're going to take a look today at what I'm calling the We're Sorry series with the latest update in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. One of our I'm sorry we botched the initial launch of 2024 aircraft has been made available to us, and it's the Cessna 185 Skywagon. So instead of just jumping in the cockpit and flying around, I thought we would talk a little bit about the aircraft and the characteristics as we have done in previous videos. And then we'll get it started up, and then we'll have a fly. We'll talk about flight characteristics, ground handling, and some of those other fun things. So there we go. All right, what would you want to know about the Skywagon? Well, it's a six-seater. It's a general aviation light aircraft manufactured by Cessna. First prototype flight, July 1960, with the first production model being completed in March of 1961. It's a high-wing aircraft with non-retractable landing gear and a tail wheel, in parentheses, depending on the configuration, right? So the float variant would be different. There is also a variant available in the Sim that has Tundra tires. So we're going to concentrate on the standard config here. All right, so there was also an agricultural variant manufactured. Primarily, this aircraft is used in bush flying and commercial transport in and out of airstrips in Canada and in Alaska. And I apologize for the voice. All right, so that's that. A little bit of a historical overview. Very, very neat aircraft for sure. All right, see if there's anything else. There's also an optional cargo pod that can be fitted to the plane. You can carry an extra 300 pounds of cargo. So anyway, but not in the sim, in the real world. So 3,916 of the aircraft have been built in various iterations. All right, what else would you want to know? Well, crew of one, capacity of up to 5 passengers, length 25 feet 9 inches, wingspan 35 feet 10 inches, height 7 feet 9 inches, wing area 174 square feet, gross weight 3,350 pounds, and a Continental 300 horsepower engine. And the prop is a 2-blade constant speed with 6 feet 10 inch diameter. So there we go. There's that. Performance data. What do we got here? Let's see. 155 knots or 178 miles an hour max speed. Cruise speed of 167 miles an hour, 145 knots. Stall speed is 49 knots or 56 miles an hour. Range 720 miles. Service ceiling 17,150 feet. Rate of climb 1,010 feet per minute. And there we go. Everything you wanted to know. No, not really. But a good intro overview in terms of some of the specifics about the aircraft. Okay. I think this sets us up for jumping over onto the ramp at Takeoff First Flight, and we will get the aircraft fired up, and then we'll take a circuit. So let's do that now. Okay, so we're going to attempt to load in again at First Flight in the Cessna 185 Skywagon. So, truth in advertising here, I did update to the latest version of the sim yesterday when it was pushed, and my first load in was fine. I have been having some issues this morning actually being able to do anything once I get to KFFA to be able to take a first look at our apology aircraft here, the Cessna 185 Skywagon. So I have not been in the aircraft and done any of the checklists or any of those fun things, but we're going to work through it together if we can get far enough. So here we go. Get our load in process going here. As much as I want to love 24, it's just stuff like this that just drives me up the wall. I was reading some workarounds on the official forums this morning, and my head was just rolling around on the ground. Okay, here we go. Parking space number 5. Okay. All right, so we are able to move around. Move my head. Oh, okay. Well, that's really interesting. So, first 2 attempts that I spawned into the airport to try to take the covers off of the engine didn't work. Just checking all the inspection points here. See if I'm able to get a mouse cursor on them. Alright, so I think that's okay. Where's our... there she is. Looking for a pitot cover. Okay, we got that off. Alright, so our engine can get oxygen and we can get airspeed. Part of the battle. Alright, and since we're testing this updated 24, let's walk over here to the pilot hut. I haven't tried going up the ramp. I wonder if it'll let me go up here. Nope, won't let me up. Okay, I don't see the bear today. It's always good to see the bear. And believe it or not, there are bears on the North Carolina coast. It's not uncommon. Lots of forest. It's a maritime forest. Although it's not quite as dense on the Outer Banks. Okay. Alright, sports fans. It looks like the control issues, or who knows. Also was having some weird things with the scenery, so I am guessing it was a load time glitch. Alright, so this is the Skywagon. Basic layout here that you would expect in a Cessna. Alright, so my hardware controls seem to be working just fine. So mixture full rich. We don't want full throttle here. We'll crack the throttle. Alright, so let's cut the yoke off so we can see what we got going on here. Alright, so our fuel selector is between the seat, and it does look like it's set for the middle, so that's good. All right, let's do what we always do. Let's take a look at the cameras. All right, so this is camera 1, camera 2, 3 to the avionics, 4, 5 to a whole lot of nothing. 6 takes us to the fuel gauge. Alright, so there we go. We'll put it on both. 7 out the pilot window. 8 across the cabin. 9 back forward. And shift 0 does zilch. Okay, so you can decide for yourself whether or not you need to make any adjustments to that. Alright, so let's have a look here. So we do have our fuel selector in the correct position. We've taken care of that. Let's go ahead and cut on the battery. Cut on a light. Cut on the beacon. Ground crew knows we're up to something. Okay. And looks like we've got a good start. I can come back off. All right, let's cut the avionics master on, get that going. Very basic Garmin in this with the analog gauges, so this is a nice layout from my perspective. Actually, kind of what I prefer. All right, we'll let that get synced up here. In the meantime, we'll just let the engine warm up. We'll have to come back in and play around with some VOR navigation. Alright, so what kind of lights do we want to cut on here? Nav lights can come on. Landing lights can come on. Boop, 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 boom. It was a little chilly today, so we can cut the pitot heat on. Jump outside the plane. Do our surface test here. Okay, all those fun things look like they're in good shape. I like the bit of dirt on the plane. I think that's very good. And the texturing seems to be, you know, on par with what we have come to expect with included planes. Okay, back inside. All right, I'm not going to bore you with the taxi, so we will pause recording here, and we'll come back to the end of the runway, and we'll take off. So far, so good. Okay, back in a second. Okay, here we are at the end of the of runway 3 at First Flight. Let's go ahead and get our takeoff run here done. All right, so we're just going to make a quick circuit here. We're going to climb out over the power lines here and make our regular circuit. We'll go out over the Atlantic and then come back in. So one of the keys to landing this particular aircraft is managing your airspeed. It's not too unwieldy on the takeoff roll. It's actually, as tail draggers go, it's relatively benign. Got some turbulence today. Looks very good in the air, that's for sure. And we'll make our turn back down here down the coast. Alright, so we've got about 124 miles an hour here on our airspeed. We'll need to lower that significantly. So stall speed is around 57 miles an hour if I'm remembering correctly. Get ourselves slowed down here as we make our way toward Jockey Ridge State Park. Yeah, we got winds 280 at 2. We definitely have some ocean atmospheric action going on here. And we'll swing our way around here. back inside the plane. Get ourselves a reasonable point of view here in 2024. As I feel like you need to be an octopus to do all the things that need to be done. We are not going to land at Dare County today. We're going to go back into First Flight and take a landing on the runway from which we came. Get ourselves turned back around to heading of 30. And we can jump back outside the plane. I am rather fond of this red livery. It's very cool. And it's been more than a minute since I've flown that 170B and wrestled with it, so I'm expecting the same here. I'll make our way back over. Looks like I'm being a tourist today. And part of this, I'm just checking out quality of scenery since the update. So forgive the meandering. We are not concentrating today on flying a proper circuit. Alright, let's get some flap. And get ourselves in for a good approach. So concentrate on what I'm doing here. No more commentary until we're down. Except for watch out for the power lines here. Just flying down the runway. And we are down. And I will take that in spades. Alright, let's get our flaps up. And we will taxi down to the turnabout. Alright, so impressions of this one. I think it's very, very good. It certainly reminds me of the 170B, which I also enjoy. I think that this particular variant is not quite as twitchy as the 70B. It really wanted to, more so than this one, float. But this one we managed to to get down on the runway in relatively good order, especially given our 0 seat time. I'll take it. All right, so we're down here to the turnabout. All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and comment. Click on the notification bell, all of those other fun YouTube things that'll help our channel. We are happy to have you along. Thank you for joining us today. All right. Aircraft number 1 of the We're Sorry series. That's just funny. All right. Hope everybody is keeping well, and until next time. Cheers, y'all.